So in this episode, we are going to create an awesome form validation system with Vue.js, which works like this. Whenever you start typing, it says waiting for correct email, keep typing. And when I give correct email, it says nothing, that means no error. But what about password? Let's try 1, 2, 3, and you can see it says password must contain 6 characters and 3 still to go. So 3 and 4, 5, 6 and done. Message is gone. Next, what about confirm password? Let's try 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and let's try with again 5. Oops, your password does not match. Okay, I will delete it, and whenever I give the correct confirm password, yes, the message is gone, and now the sign up form is here. When I click sign up, which says great, keep learning. So you can extend this to your project as you want. Okay, but one more thing, let's try what is term and conditions. I don't know what about these term and condition, but you can have this system where you can say term and condition and go back to sign up. That should be sign up, not login. Okay, doesn't matter. Okay, so these things we are going to create in this episode. And welcome back to Bitfumes. I am your host Sarthak, and this is a channel where I talk about Vue and the cool thing about Vue. So if you are new to this channel, don't forget to subscribe and like Bitfumes on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. So let's start this. So firstly, you will go to GitHub repository of Bitfumes, and don't worry, the link is in the description, so you don't have to navigate through all these things. So go to Vue.js form validation and you will land on here. And you can see I have two folders committed here. First is starting source code and second is working source code. That means this one exactly. So you can use this code for your project also, but I'm recommending you to create your own with me. So what about this starting source code? When you start learning with me, you can copy this page. So this is index.html. Let's copy everything from here and till end, and let's create a new folder here and open this folder in Sublime, and inside this folder let's create that file called index.html and paste everything here. Similarly, we want one more file which is just for styling. I have given all these styling. You don't have to worry about these stylings. Just copy this file and copy and create a new file called style.css and paste it here and close that. Okay, so let's go and open this index.html and let's see what I have given to you. So yeah, here you can see you have this form, sign up form, and this term and condition. Both are here, but we will going to separate it out with the Vue. So let's see how we can create something like this from this. Okay, so for that, firstly I will open Chrome DevTool and let's see what I have done here. So I have firstly Vue linked, Vue CDN, then the bootstrap, then my simple CSS to these kind of looks. Okay, then some of the bootstrap CSS things, and then the same thing for this term and condition. So firstly, let's do one thing. Let's create a new file called script.js. Script.js. Here we will initialize our view, okay, and give it an element with the ID of app. So if you are new to Vue, don't worry, I have covered all basic things in a Vue beginner series on Bitfumes channel, and you can get the link in the description to learn basic things about the Vue and come back to this awesome project. Okay, so here I will first initialize an div with the ID of app, and here I will just say component and done. This component tag is for the view. It's not coming with the HTML, so you have to have view, then you can use this. So let's go refresh, and yeah, we don't see any error, but let's do one thing. Here we have given the element. Let's first give here a data of component name, which is for now empty. What I'm going to do, I'm going to tell the view that, hey view, don't show these forms until I say to you to show. Okay, so how will I do that? So I will create these two as a component. So for that, I will say here, all these form, I will cover up this inside template tag, another tag for the view, which says view that this is the template. So I have given that template and one more template for this term and conditions. So I have covered all these things in the template. So you can see everything is gone, not present anything here. So now let's see how we can get these templates in our component. So I will say this component tag will get component is the component ID, but I have not given any ID. So let's give this template an ID of form. I will say sign up form. Okay, and give that here. So now I have given component is sign up form. So now Vue will get this component tag and it will search for this sign up form, and here it is, which is show inside this component tag. Okay, so go back, refresh. It's not showing that. You know why? Because we have not connected our Vue file, that means the script file, to our project. So let's create that script here, and I will say source is script.js. Now when I go, you can see I have given this component is sign up form, this form. Go back, refresh, and it's now giving error which says method sign up is not defined or rendered. So let's see what happened here. Whenever you can give is sign up, it will look for the data, but there is no sign up form data here. Instead, we have component name. So giving sign up form here doesn't have any sense to Vue. So I will say component name here, and I will provide the component name here, that's sign up form. So Vue will get is component name, and component name value is sign up form. Go refresh, and again it's saying something. Sign up form, did you register this? And now we have to define the Vue component inside our script. So actually what's happening here, we have given everything correct. We have tell the Vue that, hey Vue, get the component for this component as the component name. Component name is sign up form, and sign up form is here, but it's not defined. It's not a component, it's just the template of a component. So let's just define component. So we will define component like this, component, and the component name sign up form. You can name it anything else, but I have given the same name as the template ID. So here after that I will say template is, now comes the sign up form. Okay, so what I have done here, I have registered a component which is having the name of sign up form and getting the template from the ID of sign up form, that means here this one. Okay, go back and refresh, and yes, you can see now we have this only sign up form, no term and condition page. Okay, so let's first see how we can connect the term and condition, this one, with the term and condition template. So as we have done for this, we have to define component for our term and condition. So I will say component, and now the component name is tnc. Again, you can name it anything you want, and my component template is tnc. Again, I am using the same name, you can use different name, doesn't matter. Okay, so what I want to do, whenever I click on this term and condition button or this link, I want to change this component from sign up form to TNC, so that this component tag will get the component of TNC instead of sign up form. So what I will do, I will here say at click. Whenever I click, I will say change to TNC. That means change component to TNC. Now we have defined this click event for the method, and that method is inside this Vue component signup form. So that's why we have to define that same method here also. So I'll say methods, and the method name is change to TNC, and let's try to give this component name as we know we want TNC, and that will be this. So this dot component, but wait, it says this dot component, but for this component we don't have any data called component name. That component name is defined in the root Vue instance, not in the component. So actually what we have to do, we have to emit out the event from this component to the external world. Okay, and for that we have to say this dot emit, and emit I will say change event. Okay, and change event, and the template name, let's say TNC. So now we have emitted out so the event. So let's check this out. I will go here, hit refresh, and I will open this Vue dev tool. And for this sign up form, whenever I click on this term and condition, whenever I click, you can see it's now emitting that event. So whenever I click, it's now emitting the change event. Okay, so we have to grab that change event for this component. So I will say on change, whenever we get, or whenever here I will emit out change event, I want to again say change. So it's totally different methods. So this is an event, actually this is the method. So this method is now we can apply here on our root Vue element. So here I will say methods, and method name we have given change, and here we will say new component, and the value of new component is now assigned to component name. So that will be component name is equal to new component. And where this new component value came from, remember we have emitted out change event with some value. So we have given this TNC value. So now whenever this change event is emitted, that will catch by this component, and that will go to this change method. That method is here on this methods for the root, and we are getting the value which is TNC, and we are now passing that to component. So save this file, go back, refresh, click on term and condition, and it's not doing that thing. Let's see what happened. We have to say here this dot component name, go refresh, and it's gone. I think there is some problem. We have given, oh yeah, you can see we have not given the term and condition any ID. So ID is TNC. Okay, so now go refresh, and click here, and yes, you can see it's here, but it's not working for the backlink. Whenever we click here, we want to go back to sign up form. So exactly same thing we have to do. So let's define event for, I will say, at click is equal to, I will say, back to sign up. Okay, let's use small u. Okay, so here we are giving this means whenever I click on this back to login, then I will give this method. So that method will become inside this tnc component. So again, methods will be back to sign up, and then this will emit again the same method, same event, so that we don't have to define another change method. Okay, so now this time I will give sign up form as the component name. So whenever I click on this back to sign up, it will go to back to sign up method, which emit change event as before we have given here, and that event is catch again by this component, and it will call that method. And as this is now sign up form, the component name will become sign up form. Go refresh, here comes, and go back. Yes, it's now working with no error. Now, simple thing first. Let's just disable this sign up button. Okay, so for that we have to define one data here inside our component of sign up form, because these things are inside the component called sign up form. So here we will define the data as, firstly, disable submit button, and that will be firstly true. So I will show you how this works. TRUE. Okay, so disable submit button. So let's copy this and now go to this template, and here on this sign up I will bind disabled is equal to this button. Okay, so now whenever this disable submit button value is true, this submit button will get the disabled attribute. So whenever I go refresh and it's not giving that, there is problem on line 6. Yeah, I have missed out comma as usual. Okay, now this is the new problem. So it says data option should be a function. So here data is not like this, because whenever you define any component, you have to define data as the function, and that should always return something. So that will be here. So this thing. Okay, so let's go refresh, and yes, you can see now it is disabled. Okay, okay, let's work on this. Whenever I type here, we want something to do, but firstly we have to define three data which will get the email, password and confirmation password on this component. So firstly define password, which is empty for now, then confirm password, again empty, then email, again empty. Okay, so we have defined these three. Let's bind these to our text box. So we have to say v model, and v model is, this is for email, so v model is email. For this one, v model is password, and for this one v model is confirm password. Okay, let's go refresh and open this view tab and components tab, sign up, and you can see email is now empty, but whenever I type something, it's now getting the email. Same for password and confirm password. Okay, so let's go. And next, so we have to say whenever we type on this email, we have to actually, every time we have to watch for the email. So it's just like we have to use watch function. So let's go and use that watch function. So I will say watch, and it's watching for what? For email. So email is watching for the email. So whenever there is a change in this email, it will catch or watch for that and catch its value. So I will say here value, and this dot email is equal to value. So what I have done here, I am watching every time whenever I type something or there is change in this email text box, then I am binding that to this email data. Okay, so this is simple thing, and this will very useful because every time we type something we want any function. So let's first console dot log and log value we are getting. So that will be not inside these quotes. Go refresh and let's try to type something. Yes, you can see whenever I type something, it's now getting that on my console. So we are watching for this email. But what I want to do, whenever I type something, every time I want to check or validate the email. So it's something like we have to call method every time whenever we are watching. So this dot check underscore email, and we have to pass the value. Okay, so value is here, and let's create that method first. So here comes the check underscore email method, and here we have to check for email. But how we will check? So let's search for that. So I will say check email, or instead of that I will say validate, oops, date email in JavaScript. So here comes everything. So let's just copy these things from here. So if this is like that, okay, go and paste everything here. And as we are passed value, so value will be here. And now here comes the value. So value will be here. And instead of returning this, let's first console.log, and I will say yes. So if it is passed, then yes. Otherwise, console log no. Okay, so that should be inside else statement. Okay, go back, refresh, and yes, let's type. And you can see whenever I type it says no, but when I give correct email dot go, and yes, we are getting the yes. So we have to provide here a message as we have done here. So whenever type we are getting error, so that error should be here. So for that, let's define here a span, and that span will get value of message.email. What is that? We have to define it. So firstly, I will define a message data. That will be an array. And here, instead of this, I will say this dot message having element of email. Now message is empty if it is correctly typed email, and if it is not, we have to say keep typing, we are waiting for correct email. Okay, so go back, refresh, and let's type. And you can see it says keep typing, waiting for correct email. But whenever I type at gmail.com or co, it will now does not have any error. So you can see if I type incorrect email, let's inspect this span. So if I type this, that's here, but if I type correct email, that's empty, but it's also present here. It doesn't have any sense. So what I will do, I will say we if we have this email. So if we have this, then you should come here. Doesn't Otherwise, go back. So if it is this incorrect email, inspect. Yes, it's here. But if I type at gmail.com, so you can see it's now gone. So this is the simple thing. So same simple thing we have to do for password also. So in that case, that should be password both cases. Okay, so copy and same for confirm password, and now that should be confirm password. Okay, so let's now do for same thing for confirm password or password. So first check for password. So we are watching for password, and again I will say value, and this dot password is equal to value, and let's do this check password. Let's say check password only, and I will pass this value. We have to create that check password method. So check password is here, then it will get the value. Okay, and now we have to say if value dot length is less than 6, if value is less than 6, we have to say this dot message, and here I will say password, and that should be, if it is less than 6, we have to say uh, password must contain 6 characters, and then concatenate with let's say, let's firstly say length, uh, then again concatenate to go. Okay, and that should be here, must be the remaining. So if I type 3 and 3 more to go, so that should be 3 here. We will see this later. So then again, if it is not that case, that means if it is correct, then we will empty out this message. Okay, go back, refresh, and let's type something. You can see it's every time I type it says something, and whenever I type, I have typed 3, so it says 3 because we have hard coded 3, and 4 here, 5 here, and 6, it is gone. So let's firstly give some space here, and let's define here, we will say remaining chars, that should be 6 minus value dot length. Okay, and that will come up here. So I will say remaining chars, go back, refresh, and let's type 1 2 3 and 4. You can see I have typed 4, and it says characters 2 more to go. That should be, I think that will mistake. So that should be like more to go. Okay, so again I type 1 2 3, and you can see 3 more to go. Okay, when I type 6, it's gone. Same thing we have to do for confirm password. So confirm password, the watcher of confirm password, and let's copy this and paste it, and here come check confirm password. Okay, so let's create this method here, and this method will do two things. Firstly, this will check for 6 characters, then it will check for uh, same password. That means confirmation of the same password. So you can see we have to get these things two times, one here and one here also. So instead of doing that, what I will do, I will grab everything from here and create new method called password length check. This method I will create, and I will give here password to check. So everything comes here, but instead of this value, now come password to check. Okay, and I will call this method here. So I will say this dot password length check, and here I will provide the value, and same thing for here. Okay, so let's try this. Refresh. 1 2 3 4 5 6 gone. 1 2 3, but it's not giving here. So it says confirm password reference value is not defined. So let's see what happened here. So the problem is here, you can see we have not given value here, value, and that should be not password, that should be confirm password. Okay, so whenever we are watching for confirm password, we will passing that value to confirm password, then we will call the check confirm password, that should be here, that check confirm password. And when we are on this method, that will call another method which is called password length check, and we are checking for that. But you can see when this is calling for check password, we are giving message for the password. But whenever we have to call for check password, we must provide here confirm password. Confirm password, that should be like this, but it's here. So we have to create something to get the name exactly of this field. So when there is password, here comes the password. When there is confirm password, here comes the confirm password. For that, what I can do, you can see we have given name of this elements, the input tag. We have given everywhere, we have given name, so we can get the name. So I will create a new function which is called uh, event name, and that event name will get this name variable which is event dot target dot name. Simple, very simple thing. And let's just call this dot event name everywhere, and here we have called, here we have called, here we have called. So every time we are watching for anything, we have called this event name method, and that will provide us the name of the event. So what I will do, I will just show you by console.log name. So let's go refresh, and you can see there is no error now. And now whenever I type, you can see it says the name of the input tag. Okay, so let's delete these things. Okay, now instead of this email, I can say name, and instead of this password, again I will say name. So when I type for password, here comes the name as a password, but when I type for confirm password, here comes for the confirm password. So let's just save this, go refresh, and type for password 1 2 3 4 5 and 6 gone. Confirm password 1 2 3 4 5 and 6 gone. Next thing we have to say, we have to confirm the actually the passwords. Two password has to be matched. So we have to get, whenever we are watching for confirm password, whenever we are typing for confirm password, every time we have to match with this password. So for that, whenever we are watching for confirm password, we can pass this dot password also, or I think it doesn't matter because we can get the password from here. So I will say if value is equal to this dot password, then console.log. I will first say match. So let's go refresh, and I will say 12345 6 for password, 12345 6 for confirm password, and it says match. Okay, so now instead of this I can say, if this is passed, then I will say message is having name of, I will say here, password does not match, please check again. Okay, okay, I think instead of check I will say try again. So if it is not matched, then that's okay, but if it is matched, this dot message for the name, that means for confirm password, is empty. Go back, refresh, type 12345 6 for the password, 12345, let's try 55, and we must have password does not match, but it's not doing that thing, because yeah, because that should be not inside double quotes. Let's try one more time. 12345 6, 12345 it says password does not match, and whenever I say 6 instead of 5, and message is gone. But there is some problem, it's not doing that 6 character validation first. So firstly we have to check 6 character validation, then we have to check for the confirmation password. So it's just like we have to check for this. If this is true, then check for these things, so that will become inside. But here we have to give return the true or false. So if the length password is correct, then return true. So whenever this password having 6 character, the confirmation password, then we are returning true, and then it will say if this is true, then go back inside. So now go back and refresh, and I will say 12345 6, that's okay, 123 4, and you can see it's now checking for the 6 character validation, and 5, and again 5. Now it says password does not match, and if I say 6, no error. So it's okay, but whenever the password matches, we have to enable this sign up button. For that, whenever there is a match, I will say this dot disable submit button as false. So it is false, disable. So disable is false, that means it is enabled. Go back, refresh again one more time. 12345 6, 12345 and 6, and that's okay. But let's see how we can submit this. So firstly we have to prevent the original submission, because whenever I submit this, it's submitting the same page. We doesn't want that thing, so we have to prevent this. So at submit of this form dot prevent, so it will prevent that. So whenever I go and 12345 6, 12345 6 enabled, and you can see it's not doing anything, but we want to have some function. So I will say submit function will work, and let's create that function again one more time. So I will say submit that function. Let's first return great, you have completed this project, keep learning. Okay, so let's go refresh. I will type firstly bitfumes@gmail.com, no error. 12345 6, no error. 12345 6, and that's it. Sign up. Yep, we have completed this project, and keep learning, and thank you for your time, and thank you for watching. If you have any doubt, please feel free to comment me, and Don't forget to subscribe, like Bitfumes on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And you can donate any amount to Bitfumes via Patreon. And we will meet in the next episode. Keep suggesting new things. I will create new things and we will grow together. Goodbye.